Welcome to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe in the studios of our flagship stations, Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. In addition, today, as always, we're also on Birmingham Area Municipal Access and City Cable 15 of Southfield. Those three television stations on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. You can also find us live to tape on Comcast Channel 10 and AT&T Channel 99. On the media network of Waterford and Orion Neighborhood Television. Find us online, civiccentertv.com, by clicking on our Watch Live link on your computer. That's going to be at the top of the homepage on civiccentertv.com. And then on your mobile phone, if you're viewing us on your web browser there, it's going to be in the left margin in the drop-down menu on our homepage, civiccentertv.com. You can also view us on our Facebook pages, facebook.com/civiccentertv15 and facebook.com/Lakes FM. Go ahead and shoot us a like over there as well, so you can follow all the other things we do outside of the Megacast, Monday through Friday, live from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. We're also on community radio stations such as 89.3 Lakes FM and 88.1 The Biff, a service of the Bloomfield Hills School District, serving Birmingham, Bloomfield, and the Troy areas here in Oakland County. You can find us all throughout the state. Also online on My Michigan TV or MyMy. You can download the MyMy TV app from a number of different places on your smart TV and on your smartphone. Find out all of those places and learn more about My Michigan TV by going to their website at mymytv.com. Again, that is mymytv.com to learn more. On our website, you can learn about all of our partnering television, radio, and other media outlets, as well as find us on demand, full episodes, and our full individual interviews by going to our website at civiccentertv.com and clicking on the Megacast link. And then right next to that is our coronavirus link, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, where we have links that go directly to COVID-19 informational resources from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and the Oakland County Health Division, as well as many of our local municipalities here in Oakland County, where we originate our broadcast each and every day. You can learn more about how COVID-19 is affecting your hometown, how the spread of COVID-19 is happening in the local area and across the state of Michigan and across the U.S. and the world as well. Learn more about the variants of COVID-19, about our COVID-19 vaccines, and sign up for a vaccination or a booster shot or a vaccination for your kids as well by going to our website, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, and clicking on the CDC, State of Michigan, and Oakland County resources. Also on that page, on our coronavirus page, we post our top stories affecting the entire state of Michigan and here in Oakland County as well, each and every day. And our top story today, as we continue to be dealing with this surge in the Delta variant of COVID-19 throughout the state of Michigan, Beaumont Health is warning that the fourth surge of the virus could continue to last for several months forward. This from the Detroit News. Beaumont Health has 400 COVID-19 patients admitted at its 8 hospitals and medical systems. Top epidemiologists said Thursday that officials are considering this Beaumont's fourth surge of the virus and warning it could last for months. Dr. Nick Gilpin, the Beaumont Health Director of Infection Prevention and Epidemiology, said transmission rates in the Tri-County region are about double what's been seen across the country, and Metro Detroit, quote, is once again becoming a hot spot, in closed quote. Gilpin noted that the positivity rate, or percentage of tests that come back positive, reached a very low point over the summer but began to creep up around August, and it's continued to rise since then. A quote from Dr. Gilpin once again, quote, I have a feeling we're going to be living in this world probably for the next couple of months and possibly even through the winter. He continued, because I don't see anything out there that's going to stop this in a meaningful way unless people radically change their behavior and start getting vaccinated and masking up. This is going to be a tough one. This is shaping up to be a little bit more of a marathon than a sprint, and closed quote. Beaumont's update on its COVID-19 admissions comes as Michigan on Wednesday reached a 6-month high in hospitalizations. Projections suggest the uptick won't level off for at least 6 weeks. Last year's fall surge of COVID represented the high point so far in the pandemic, with the state peaking a year ago in November. Wednesday's hospitalizations reached more than 2,600 statewide, ailing from the virus, nearly identical to 1 year ago. Michigan's infections have been trending upward for several months now. So far this week, the state has added 15,194 cases and 210 deaths from COVID-19. The latest figures push the totals overall to over 1.1 million confirmed cases and just under 22,700 deaths since the virus was first detected in March of 2020 here in Michigan. In Traverse City, the Munson healthcare system activated protocols on Tuesday for its pandemic response level red for the first time in the organization's history. The highest alert level on the 5-color system, the status gives officials flexibility to delay non-COVID services or surgeries on a case-to-case basis and to shift staffing and resources toward caring for COVID-19 patients. The 7-hospital health system had 92 COVID patients as of Wednesday, with 49 in Traverse City, 15 in Cadillac, 1 patient in Charlevoix, and 14 in Grayling and 5 at Munson's Hospital in Manistee. At Beaumont, Dr. Gilpin said Thursday it's impossible to know the exact cause of the latest surge, but he believes it's been driven by unvaccinated people in the community. Generally, about 65 to 70% of patients admitted to Beaumont hospitals with COVID on any given day are unvaccinated, Gilpin said, compared with about 30 to 35% who have had the shots. Of Wednesday's admissions, around 260 were unvaccinated, and about 115 breakthrough cases in unvaccinated people were present as well, he noted. The majority of breakthrough cases in vaccinated individuals, he said, are occurring either in people who are immunocompromised or elderly, rendering the vaccines less effective. Other cases, Gilpin said, have emerged in people who were vaccinated early on in the pandemic, and the shot's effectiveness is starting to wear off. About 69.8% of Michiganians 16 years and older, it should be Michiganders, that's incorrect in this article, have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine. About 54.4% are completely unvaccinated, according to the state health department's website. Since Michigan began vaccinating children between 5 and 11 on Monday, 1.7% or 14,100 children as of Wednesday had received their first doses, state data shows, and 42.5% of children 12 to 15 have received at least 1 dose. Dr. Gilpin from Beaumont said large increases right now are among school-aged kids, followed by outbreaks in long-term care facilities. Most new cases, he added, across Michigan are in schools, and there are 15 pediatric cases among the 400 inpatients at Beaumont hospitals on Thursday, according to the health system. Quote, kids might not get very sick from COVID, but they can still catch COVID. They can still spread COVID to others, to their teachers, to their households, and then it just becomes a way for the virus to propagate even more. He said. That full article from the Detroit News on our website at civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. Next, making news, good news for Michigan drivers who hate having to go back to Secretary of State's offices or many of the independent systems that are located in our grocery stores to re-up their registration and their licenses each and every year. Michigan drivers can now opt for a 2-year vehicle registration thanks to new legislations. This is from the Detroit Free Press. Michiganders, see, they got it right. The Free Press got it right. Michiganders can now renew the registration of their vehicles every 2 years instead of on an annual basis. Signed by Governor Gretchen Whitmer on Wednesday, House Bill 4117 is an effort to make operations at the Secretary of State's branches more efficient. The bill is among multiple pieces of legislation signed by the governor on Wednesday, including Senate Bill 220 that provides free registration renewal for some agricultural and industrial vehicles. Quote, making life easier for Michiganders is one of my top priorities, said Governor Whitmer in a release. Whitmer continued, these changes will build on the many new convenient services offered by the Secretary of State to put Michigan families and small businesses first, end closed quote. Effective next October, Michigan drivers can opt to renew vehicle registration for 2 years at a time rather than making an annual trip to branch offices to renew, or many of the kiosks that are placed throughout the state of Michigan in grocery stores like Kroger and Meijer and others, another option. Quote, the Michigan Department of State has entered a new era of operations. We are providing better and more convenient services than ever before. Our branch offices are open, pandemic operations are finished, and there is an abundant ability for office visits across the state, said Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson in a release. Michigan once implemented 2-year registrations in the early 80s, but the Department of State reported they were not popular with motorists, according to nonpartisan House Fiscal Agency. Drivers will still be able to renew annually should they choose. Tabs expire on the owner's birthday, of course. The governor last month signed related legislation to ensure that they will also be able to buy an optional 2-year recreational passport for unlimited access to state parks, recreation areas, boat launches, forest campgrounds, and trail parking lots as well. For more information on vehicle registration, of course, you can visit michigan.gov/SOS. That's michigan.gov/SOS. The subpage for the Michigan Department of State, the Secretary of State's office. Lastly, making headlines from Bridge, Michigan Magazine on our website. We've talked previously about benefits going out for child care providers across the U.S., those $1,000 benefits here in Michigan. Bridge, Michigan is sending a $1,000 thank you to early educators enough? This article from them, many early educators in Michigan will soon receive a $1,000 bonus, a thank you to thousands of workers across the state who stuck with challenging, low-paid, and essential jobs through the scariest days of the pandemic. Child care providers are welcoming the money, which comes from federal COVID-19 aid, even as they say they are struggling mightily to hire for those same jobs. Quote, I've tried everything, said Beverly Hogan, director of 3 child care centers in the Detroit area. They might send a resume, then no call, no show, end closed quote. In an effort to attract more staff, Hogan increased entry-level pay in her centers in recent months by $4 an hour, putting it at $13 total, far below Michigan's median hourly wage of $19. Maybe that causes some rage. It's not, I meant to say wage in that scenario. Labor shortages in various industries are making headlines as the pandemic reshapes the economy. For the child care sector, the tight labor market only adds to profound problems with turnover and hiring that long predates the pandemic. Quote, we've been sounding the alarm for years now that child care workers are completely underpaid and undervalued, said Matt Gillard, president of Michigan's Children, a nonprofit advocacy group. Gillard continued, a $1,000 bonus is not only appropriate, but long overdue. It's not a long-term solution. We fundamentally have to change the program so that we can make this a profession that's viable, end closed quote. The bonuses will be paid to full-time child care workers or administrators currently on payroll at centers or home-based programs. Part-time employees are eligible for just $500. Providers can also apply to receive up to $1,000 for incentive payments for new hires as well. A large boost in child care aid from federal spending in response to the pandemic helped most programs remain open despite sharply reduced enrollment and increased costs related to the COVID-19 pandemic and protections. At least several hundred Michigan child care programs, or 6% of the total, had closed during the pandemic, fewer than was feared by projections in the spring of 2020. More financial help is also on the way. Governor Whitmer announced this week that providers can now apply for a share of $350 million in stabilization funds that will go toward bonuses and hiring incentives. Another round of grants is expected to go out in 2022. The state also used federal funds to increase payments to providers who serve low-income children, and income requirements for the subsidies were raised, meaning more families qualify for support with child care tuition. But those funding increases are temporary, and advocates say larger structural changes are still needed. The major additional influx of federal support for early child care education is on the agenda in Congress, which is weighing proposed expansion of the U.S. social safety net that includes child care provisions. But the fate of the legislation is uncertain as Democrats hold a narrow majority. The economics of child care industry is also largely determined by government funding levels, especially in low-income communities where parents typically cannot afford private care costs that can be on par with the University of Michigan tuition. Providers have used COVID-19 relief funds to increase pay and benefits for their staff, but they often can't compete with hourly jobs in other industries. Quote, "I love my job, but from the outside looking in, who wants to teach?" said Monique Snyder, director of Brainiac's Clubhouse Childcare. Snyder continued, "People say, you want me to sit in this classroom with these kids and make $32,000 per year? I could go to Amazon and do that," and closed quote. That full article from Bridge, Michigan on our website at civiccentertv.com. Hopefully that's a nice wake-up call for our government here in the state of Michigan and federally to put more focus on childcare. Obviously, vitally important to families all across the state of Michigan, all across the United States. We already know that our teachers are vastly underpaid and extremely underappreciated. That also goes to our child care providers and our child care workers as well. So, I mean, if you want that industry to go dry and have families continue to struggle with their child care needs and have people continue to leave the workforce in order to be able to accommodate those child care needs, then go ahead, sit on this and do nothing. But otherwise, we need to really put more focus on improving this industry and showing those that are doing these jobs the appreciation that they deserve, and maybe attract other people to these industries as well that will fulfill these jobs with excellence and maybe weed out some of those that don't really want to be there as well. All those articles on our website, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, where we also have links to very helpful and factual information from experts across the U.S. at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention here in the state of Michigan, from the Department of Health and Human Services, and in Oakland County from our friends over at the Oakland County Health Division. We have a great show ahead of you today. Coming up next, Molly Reeser, the founder and executive director of Camp Casey, will join us as one of the Share Detroit charities that's joining us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10:20 a.m. on the Megacast, now through Giving Tuesday at 10:40. We'll be joined by the founder and executive director of Paws for Life Animal Rescue, Courtney Protz-Sanders, will join us at 10:40. At 11 o'clock, Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov, the vice president of Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan, will join us to talk about the 11th annual Menorah in the D event. At 11:20, Garrett Pasiak from Detroit City Distillery and Brian Peterson, the founder of Bees in the D, will join us to talk about their partnership coming up this season with some honey and some adult beverages involved as well. And at the end of the show, at 11:40, Denise Smith, the implementation director of Hope Starts Here, will join us on the Megacast as well. That's all coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
It's the Great Lakes water, and so what people do ends up in our waterways.
Flushable wipes are just evil. They should be thrown away. They're impossible to destroy, and they can cause significant problems.
One of the main things when you're cooking is to not dump fats, oils, and greases down your drains.
They stick to the sides of pipes. They stick to everything they come in contact with. Don't put it down the sink.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources, call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Neighborhood storm drains carry water directly to local creeks and streams. No filters, no treatment.
Storm drains also help reduce street flooding when it rains.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
It is easy to do your part by adopting a storm drain.
Find a storm drain, check it, and clear it every month.
So keep storm drains for rain only.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit, or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
We as Michiganders feel connected to this resource in a way that I think is really powerful.
Conservation starts with a caring, committed community.
For me, it's peaceful to have a relationship with the river.
Every single one of us has a role to make sure that those waterways stay safe and healthy, being careful about what goes down the storm drain.
Just even eliminating some of your single-use plastic makes a difference.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe alongside Calvin Brown here in our studios in West Bloomfield Township as we continue to bring you news and information about COVID-19 and other interesting and important topics all throughout the southeastern Michigan area and all across the Great Lakes state as well. Find out all the places you can catch us live to tape, and on demand by going to our website at civiccentertv.com/megacast. Well, as I said earlier on the weekend in the first segment of our show today, each and every day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, now through the end of the month of November, we'll be joined by one of over 200 charities supported by Share Detroit to talk about their work in our local area as we approach Giving Tuesday, and we're into the thick of the giving season here across the world. And joining us now is Molly Reeser. She is the founder and executive director of Camp Casey, joining us now on the Megacast. Molly, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Howdy, everyone.
Yeah, howdy to you as well, Molly. Tell us a little bit about Camp Casey. What is your nonprofit? What is your charity? And what do you do in our area and throughout the state?
All righty. Well, Camp Casey is a nonprofit organization that connects children that are going through the hardships of cancer, sickle cell disease, and other life-threatening illnesses with horses. So we bring horses into their lives in all sorts of ways. We have 4 programs that we operate. We do this on a very shoestring budget, but our most unique program that those who have been out and about in the summertime may have seen us around is called Horsey House Calls. And this is where we will actually surprise a child who is living with the difficulties of childhood illness with a horse on the doorstep. So we knock on the door, the child opens the door, and we surprise them with a horse for the day. And our team ends up staying for about 3 hours, and we give the children of the household and the whole neighborhood a really positive, uplifting experience that can shine a little bit of sunshine into their lives during a very difficult and terrifying time.
So then, Molly, how did Camp Casey get its name? What's kind of the backstory of this organization?
Well, I love telling this story because Casey was a friend of mine. I ended up founding the organization when I was a sophomore at Michigan State University. I was going to school and working part-time on a farm, and that was where I met Casey. She was a young girl going through treatment for bone and brain cancer, and it was my first time as a young person, young adult, realizing that children could get cancer too. That was a very eye-opening experience for me. And Casey and I became fast friends. I was about 18 when we met, and she was only 10 or 11 or so. But she was a real spark plug of a personality and very funny, sarcastic, outgoing young girl. And I saw the connection that she was able to make with the horses and how therapeutic it was for her while she was going through treatment for cancer. Unfortunately, we lost Casey. It was devastating. About 2 years after I got to know her, Casey passed away. And I wanted to do something to honor her life. So different ideas were thrown about to plant a tree in her honor or to buy a park bench or something like that. But I thought that Casey's life could be commemorated in a much bigger way. So I gathered some children from the local hospital right outside of Lansing where Casey received treatment and gave them a day of horseback riding where they could come out to the farm and enjoy the setting and the horses and the friends the way that Casey had. And it was supposed to be a one-time event. And it was a wonderful experience. We had over 20 children out and their families, and we completed what we set out to do. But after the day concluded, I received a letter from a little boy, and it said, "Thank you for the best day of my life." And when that happened, I thought, geez, well, that wasn't so hard to pull off once. Why don't we do it again? And from that point on, Camp Casey just ended up growing and taking on a mind of its own. And now we are an 18-year-old organization. We serve over 1,600 children a year. We operate 4 different programs throughout the state of Michigan, and our organization just continues to grow and thrive. And we are very proud to have recently opened our parameters to serving not only children with cancer, but also sickle cell disease and, in fact, all life-threatening illnesses.
We're joined by Molly Reeser, the founder and executive director of Camp Casey, joining us today on the Megacast. If you'd like to learn more information about Camp Casey, you can visit their website at camp-casey.org. That is camp-casey.org. And so you also have, Molly, some unique partnerships in the community as well, and you have an effort called the Hero Herd that's through or in partnership with Camp Casey. Tell us a little bit about the Hero Herd and how can people get involved if they'd like to join?
Oh, there are lots of ways to get involved with Camp Casey. We are always looking for donors, of course, because our programs are free to the families that we serve, but very expensive for us to operate. So anything helps, visiting our wish list or donating supplies or just even a $5 donation really does stretch with our organization. We are very grassroots and super small. So a little bit goes a long way when you are donating to our cause. We also are always looking for volunteers, and we are always looking for families that we can reach that might be able to benefit from what we do. We rely on a network of horses and very generous, privately owned horses who are owned by a very loving team of horse parents to allow us to lease their horses for the day. So that is what is called the Hero Herd. We don't own any of the horses that we use. In fact, in order to keep our program as lean and as affordable as possible for us to run, and so that we can reserve our funds for things that are costly, such as pizza for everybody when we go to the horsey house calls, and T-shirts and insurance and maintaining our vehicles that get our horses and our staff safely to the visits. We do not own the horses that we use. In fact, we have a network of horses all throughout Michigan, and we take the horse that's closest to the child's home that we are going to be visiting that day. We are very proud of the collaborations that we have. Most deeply, we collaborate with the Buffalo Soldiers Heritage Association, which is a really awesome urban farm in Detroit, and that I encourage everybody to go and check out. It's also a 501c3 organization, but we are really proud to have lots of fantastic partners within the equine and just the giving community.
We're joined by Molly Reeser, founder and executive director of Camp Casey, with us on the Megacast. Learn more information and get in contact with them and donate your time or financially to them by going to their website at camp-casey.org. Again, camp-casey.org. And so, Molly, if someone wants to join the Hero Herd, they have they own a horse or own horses that they'd be willing to provide to Camp Casey for these experiences. What is the process of them getting involved with your organization? Are there certain checks that they have to go through that their horses or horse has to go through before they would become part of the Hero Herd and be able to be used?
Yeah, it's very easy to be a part of our organization. We have a very small staff that we personally work with everybody who wants to be a part of our organization in any capacity, whether you want to donate to our cause, help spearhead a supply drive, or get a community group or your business involved with what we do. If you want to volunteer yourself, you don't need to be horse savvy to be a volunteer with us, I should mention. Or if you have a horse that you might want to be considered to be a part of our Hero Herd, the easiest thing to do is to visit our website or to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, get in touch with one of us by sending along an email or visiting our website, where you will be guided to each portal that can help give you a step-by-step way to get your horse evaluated. Once the horses go through a series of evaluations and can be deemed safe to join our hero herd, we then will send out one of our equine staff to do another little extra evaluating of the horse. And then once the horse passes all of the tests, they our team will work with the owner to secure a schedule. We do actually lease the horses, so there is payment involved, which is really a wonderful thing that we're able to provide to the horse owners, because then the horses are able to earn their keep a little bit. But my suggestion to anybody that's involved, whether you are a horse owner, an animal lover, somebody who just cares about giving back, is to visit camp-casey.org and get in touch with one of us, because we would just love to welcome anybody into our posse.
We're joined by Molly Reeser, Executive Director and the founder of Camp Casey, joining us on the Megacast. Of course, you can learn more information by going to their website at camp-casey.org. Again, that is camp-casey.org. And so there are also other opportunities for sponsorships as well. If businesses or other organizations want to partner with Camp Casey or want to sponsor Camp Casey, how can they also get involved?
Yes, we are always looking to shine the names of those who support us in bright lights. We have a beautiful horse trailer that travels all around Southeast Michigan. In fact, we have another horse trailer that travels all around Grand Rapids. So lots of signage opportunity for any local businesses that want to get involved. We're also hoping that within the next few years, we will be launching a capital campaign that will allow us to eventually have an indoor riding place for our campers. So lots of naming opportunities. So we also have an annual event that we put on. So if your business wants to get involved, absolutely, please reach out, send me an email, give me a phone call, visit our website. We'd love to get your business and your community organization involved in what we have going on.
We're joined by Molly Reeser, founder and executive director of Camp Casey, joining us on the Megacast. So Giving Tuesday is coming up. I've been asking this of each charity that has, or nonprofit that has joined us, that's supported by Share Detroit, as they're joining us now through November 30th, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10:20 on our shows. Different organizations need different things during this time and during their usual operations as well. Of course, financial donations are always important, but in other ways as well. What are other things that are needed from your organization at this time that the community could help get behind and give as we approach the giving season?
Well, I am just so happy that you mentioned Share Detroit. Share Detroit is a network of nonprofits that all share a platform that we are able to shout from the mountaintops what our organizations are, what we need, and how to get involved. And instead of having to go down the rabbit hole of looking and researching for yourself in the World Wide Web, Share Detroit has made it very easy for those who want to donate, those who want to help supply gifts toward our wish list, those who might want to volunteer. You can go to sharedetroit.org, and I describe it kind of like Match.com, but for the nonprofit world, where if you are somebody who has something to give, whether it's time, money, an actual in-kind donation, visit sharedetroit.org, and it's a one-stop shop to be able to find the different organizations that might speak to your heart. Not everybody wants to donate to just one organization. There are countless worthy charities locally that need support. And sharedetroit.org is a wonderful resource to be able to visit, to see them all, to type in what your particular interests are, what touches your heart, and where do you want your gifts to go. So I am so proud to be one of the sharedetroit.org founding members, actually. And we are so grateful and thankful to all that organization is doing to make giving that much easier and make volunteering that much more accessible to this community. So in terms of what Camp Casey's needs are, which you would definitely be able to see if you go to sharedetroit.org and search for Camp Casey, we are always looking for items such as paint, because we go through that stuff like water in the summertime when we're doing crafts with our kids. We need paper plates because we are feeding children pizza at each Horsey House call, and they go through plates quite quickly because they're always coming up for seconds and thirds of pizza slices. We need hand sanitizers, of course. We need Lysol wipes and some horse equipment. There's a variety of items that are on our wish list, which can be found at sharedetroit.org or on Camp Casey's website, which is camp-casey.org. And from there, you would be able to select whatever price point you are able to spend right now and really give a gift that continues to give. Giving Tuesday is a wonderful day to designate in your year as a time that you can give what you can, whether it is a financial gift, a contribution to our supply drive, or possibly your time. If you might even have an hour to spare, Camp Casey and other organizations could definitely put you to work, and we'll be very grateful of your time.
Molly Reeser joins us. She is the founder and executive director of Camp Casey, with us today on the Megacast, one of many Share Detroit charities and nonprofits that will be joining us at 10:20 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now through November 30th as we approach and as we surpass shortly after that Giving Tuesday here across the world during the holiday season. So, Molly, just another few minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. With winter approaching, are you still able to do some of these outings with kids and with these horses during the colder season, or does your organization have to shift some of its programming because of the weather?
Yes, unfortunately, Mother Nature kind of puts a little bit of a damper on a lot of the activities that we do, which involve outdoor horseback riding. However, our organization is always working and always trying to fundraise as much as we can during the winter months. Additionally, we have our outlaw outing program that we operate, which connects the families to us that we have previously served by providing recreational activities for them to enjoy during the year. But as I hinted to a few moments ago, our organization is working very hard to launch a capital campaign that will allow us to actually build and erect an indoor center where eventually we are hoping that we can have year-round programs happen regardless of what Mother Nature has to say about it. So stay tuned. If you happen to want to jump on our plans to help us erect an indoor riding center, also reach out, or if you have connections in the construction industry or know how to get things done, we want to hear from you. So there are so many different ways to get involved with all sorts of charities that need your support. It's not, financially, giving is fantastic, but it's just one of the many ways that we hope the community can wrap their arms around organizations like Camp Casey and other organizations that might really speak to you. So I encourage everybody to visit sharedetroit.org, do a little bit of research to see what organization is speaking to your heart, and give what you can, whether that be time, money, or even some suggestions. All of it is invaluable to organizations like Camp Casey that run on a shoestring budget.
You can learn more information by visiting their website at camp-casey.org. That is camp-casey.org. We're joined by founder and executive director of Camp Casey, Molly Reeser. Molly, anything else for us today before we say goodbye?
I would just like to thank you all for taking the time to learn about Camp Casey, and I hope that everybody has a lovely start to the holiday season, and I just want to say thank you. So thank you for helping kids conquer cancer one nay at a time.
We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us, Molly.
All righty, take care.
Again, you can learn more information at camp-casey.org to learn more and participate with Camp Casey and join them in supporting children with cancer during this holiday season and beyond. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we'll talk to another nonprofit. I'll be joined by Courtney Protz-Sanders, the founder and executive director of Paws for Life Animal Rescue. That is coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Did you know that nearly 3.31 million Americans don't get their annual checkup? Going to the doctor regularly is extremely important and is a crucial factor in maintaining good health. Make sure you are visiting your local doctor often and telling them about any health concerns you have. For more information, contact your local healthcare provider. This message is brought to you by WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
People are getting out to walk and bike in higher numbers. More vulnerable road users and higher speed traffic can be a dangerous combination. Crash severity has increased, so if you're driving, be sure to slow down and look for people. There's no need to speed. If you're biking, ride with traffic. If you're walking, avoid stepping into the road if possible. If you have to walk in the street, walk facing traffic. Learn more at walkbikedrivesafe.org.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources, call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
Parents do a lot of worrying. Get your kids caught up on childhood vaccines to protect them from these 14 preventable diseases, and you'll have 14 fewer things to worry about. Vaccines are safe and effective and save lives. So let's get caught up on vaccines and worry about something else. Get the facts at ivaccinate.org.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Most of the pollution that goes into our rivers is carried by rainwater that flows off of roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
The leaves and bark of a single tree can retain a surprising amount of rainwater. Depending on its size and species, it could be 100 gallons or more.
It is estimated that an urban forest can reduce annual runoff by up to 7%.
Here's one thing that we know can help keep our water clean.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
Plant a tree.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
One of the things you can look for in your friends is a change in behavior. These can be big changes, they can be small changes in mood, physical appearance. They may be sleeping less or sleeping more, drinking more, or their eating patterns may be different. One big change that can be pretty obvious is change in motivation. Do they no longer want to play basketball? Do they no longer want to play video games? Now that we're spending more time online and in virtual settings, it's really important to pay attention to the language that your friend is using and the words they're using to communicate.
So when we text our friends, are they taking longer amounts of time to respond? Are they not responding at all?
You don't have to be an expert to try to recognize these signs. The second that you feel it in your gut and that you're concerned, that's the second to have the conversation and open the door to what might be going on.
Whatever gets you talking.
Today, it is easier than ever to join Michigan's Organ Donor Registry and help build a bridge of hope for organ, tissue, and eye donation. Just one person can potentially save or help improve the lives of up to 75 people. By joining, your legacy could be the gift of life. Sign up today at michigan.gov/SOS or at any of the more than 145 Secretary of State self-service stations located across Michigan. Be part of Michigan's Bridge of Hope by adding your name to the Organ Donor Registry.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources, call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe here in our studios in West Bloomfield Township. You can learn more about our show and find all of our full episodes and interviews on demand on our website at civiccentertv.com/Megacast. Joining us now is another nonprofit. We're joined by Paws for Life Animal Rescue's founder and executive director, Courtney Protz-Sanders, with us now on the Megacast. Courtney, thanks for being with us again. I don't know that she hears us, or maybe it's frozen over there. Might be, but we'll see. So Courtney Protz-Sanders, she is the founder and executive director of Paws for Life Animal Rescue. It's a nonprofit, all-breed dog and cat rescuing operation located in southeastern Michigan, ran almost entirely by volunteers. Entirely by volunteers. It's a shelter partner. They take rescue dogs and cats from overflowing shelters in Michigan, saving multiple lives. The one that they get and the one that needs the empty kennel space that they leave behind as well. And Courtney is with us now on the Megacast. Courtney, all set? You have us now?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you. So tell us a little bit more about Paws for Life Animal Rescue and some of the many different things that you do, not only for the animals, but also to support adopting of pets such as cats and dogs here in our local area.
Sure. So like you mentioned, we partner with shelters. They have the greatest need for partnerships. So we work with them to take the animals that they just can't care for. We have some great examples just this week. We took in 3 puppies that were abandoned in a field in Detroit. They were very sick. Turns out they have distemper as well as some other problems. So this was a case that had they gone to the shelters in Detroit, they wouldn't have been able to receive the life-saving care they needed. So we took them in, got them hospitalized, and now we're working on continuing to raise funds to pay for their very hefty medical bill. And then we rescued a dog from the 2nd floor of a burned out building. He was trapped. He couldn't get out on his own. He was standing in an open window, pretty much begging for help. And when we got him down, turns out he is skin and bones and he has heartworm. So those are just a couple examples of animals we rescued just in the past week that wouldn't have made it at an animal shelter, or they wouldn't have been able to provide the care they needed. And so that's where rescues come in.
We're joined by Courtney Protz-Sanders, founder and executive director for Paws for Life Animal Rescue. And so what are some of the ways that you do end up with these animals in your rescue? You mentioned some of them, like you found the puppies that were dumped in Detroit and really left to die out there. Is that a typical situation that your shelter runs into when you're bringing in these animals? Or how typically do these cats and these dogs in particular come to Paws for Life?
People speak up, and it's so important. Had someone just continued to drive past those puppies in a field, they wouldn't have made it. But someone saw the need and they made phone calls. And that's what we need everyone to do when they see a voiceless life in need of help. So we get phone calls from members of the public, perhaps other rescues that don't have the capacity at the moment to help that specific animal. And then sometimes shelters themselves, most often actually, give us a call and say, we've got this case. We think that they could potentially be saved, but we just don't have the resources to provide them the care they need. Can you help them out? And so we get calls pretty much every day from shelters and members of the public asking for help. And so we always need more volunteers. We'll teach you how to do everything. From helping us place animals who have gone through medical care and now they're perfectly healthy and ready to go. We always need volunteers to help us place those animals in their forever homes, as well as people to just help out with the basics, anything from fundraising to if you want to give a kitten a vaccine, we can show you how to do that too.
We're joined by Courtney Protz-Sanders, founder and executive director of Paws for Life Animal Rescue, with us on the Megacast. And so your annual virtual silent auction has been ongoing since the beginning of the month, but if people are interested in getting some of the items that you're auctioning off and helping a really great animal rescue here in our local area, they're running out of time. It ends tonight on Friday, November 12th at 8 p.m. Tell us about the auction, some of the really interesting items that are still available, and how it goes to help your organization.
Sure. So it's called the Kibbles and Bids Virtual Silent Auction, and this is our second one. COVID kind of forced us to go from our in-person auctions to virtual, but it seems that people are really enjoying it, and they get to bid for a longer period of time than when we have an in-person event. So there are more than 370 auction packages up there. Everything from toys and pet supplies for your favorite or, most beloved dogs and cats, to stuff for kids, jewelry for your, beloved. Holidays are coming up, so we've got a lot of great holiday packages. There's travel, there's beauty products, there's art for the wall, and there's stuff for your kitchen. You name it, we've got it. The auction continues, like you said, tonight until 8 p.m. 100% of our proceeds go directly to the animals in our care because we don't have any paid staff. We don't receive any government support. Every penny we bring in goes directly to the cats and dogs that we have rescued.
We're joined by Paws for Life Animal Rescue founder and executive director Courtney Protz-Sanders on the Megacast. Learn more information about their nonprofit at pawsforlife.org. That is pawsforlife.org, where you can also learn more information about adoption, about getting involved in volunteer opportunities, and to bid in their Kibbles and Bids auction, which is going now through tonight at 8 p.m. And the auction ends Friday, November 12th at 8 p.m. And so you have adoption events also that are going on constantly, and you also have regular places where adoptable animals can be found, can be met on almost a daily basis. Tell us about some of those upcoming adoption events where people can meet some of these cats and dogs and maybe find them a forever home.
Sure. First, I'll correct our website. You were so close. It's pawsforliferescue.org.
Correct.
I'm sure there is a Paws for Life out there, and they will be very appreciative you visited them. But if you want to get to Kibbles and Bids, go to pawsforliferescue.org. We have adoption events every month. The second Saturday, we're in Rochester Hills at their Petco store. And on the fourth Saturday, we're in Bloomfield Hills at Pet People. And we're there from 11 to 3 every month, and we bring our adoptable cats and kittens and dogs and puppies as available. But if you don't want to wait for an adoption event, you can check out our website. There's a really short application if you're looking for a dog or you're looking for a cat. Same application if you want to become a foster care home. Very rewarding experience, and we'll give you all the supplies you need. But go there and fill out an application. A volunteer will give you a call and talk about what it is you're looking for in a pet. We will recommend the pets that we have available that best match those expectations and what you want. And then we can set up meet and greets anytime. We'll bring the animal to your home and let you meet them and see how it goes. If everything is just right for everybody involved, then the pet can stay and start their 2-week adjustment period. And that's the minimum amount of time we want to give a pet to adjust to a new environment, new people, new routine, new everything. And by the end of those 2 weeks, they have settled in, and you have a pretty good idea of what this cat or dog is about and whether or not it's the right match for you. So we're happy to do in-home meet and greets. Just contact us, and we'd love to help you find your next family member.
Yeah, they do a really great job with that. Last time we had you on about a year ago to talk about the Kibbles and Bids auction, silent auction fundraiser. I had talked about how I had adopted my 2 cats, Jax and Idol, who at the time were named Lock and Shock, from Paws for Life. Alex at your Farmington Hills location was very helpful throughout the entire process, has continued to be very approachable and reachable by email with any questions afterwards. So I can attest for sure Paws for Life does a really great job at helping ease the animals, of course, out of the shelter and into their new homes, as well as helping the new homes acclimate to their new friends as well. Of course, we're joined by Courtney Protz-Sanders, founder and executive director of Paws for Life Animal Rescue. You can learn more information on their website at pawsforliferescue.org. Again, pawsforliferescue.org. And so, Courtney, just another few minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. Any other information at this time that people should know about your organization, or any ways in particular or things in particular that are needed by Paws for Life at this time from the community that would be a great help if people are able to give?
Absolutely. So I talked about those 3 puppies we just brought in. We need puppy food. That's one thing if you want to donate. We'll always take cat food, dog puppy food, cat litter. We go through it like water. So we're always looking for in-kind donations. And if you want to make it really easy on yourself, you can go to our Amazon wish lists, peruse our lists, pick what you want to donate, purchase it, and Amazon will ship it directly to us. So you don't even have to worry about dropping something off or finding our shipping address. So that's one great way. And we keep our lists up to date. So it's the things that we need the most. And then people, we always need more volunteers. And there's something for everyone. If you just want to make phone calls or write donor thank you notes, great. If you want to interact with people and help place animals or work on the medical side, fabulous. We have space for you. We welcome you. Everybody's a volunteer. We have a lot of fun, and it's very rewarding to turn these lives around, to take an animal who was facing death or definitely homeless and to give them that life they've dreamed of with a family. It's really incredibly rewarding. There's nothing like it.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much. And actually, I'm going to have to send you an email, and I'll send Alex an email also after the show. I recently got some more cat food for my cats. I got the wrong kind, and so I didn't ask for the receipt from the pet store I got it from. So I might as well. The best way to go about that is to donate that cat food. And I'm sure that it could be put to good use. So I'll get in contact with you guys as well, because I'm sure you could use some of that. So thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it, Courtney.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, great weekend.
You as well. Again, their Kibbles and Bids auction ends tonight, Friday, November 12th at 8 p.m. Go to their website, pawsforliferescue.org, to learn more, to donate beyond just this auction and fundraiser, as well as learn more about all their adoptable pets that are available right now. Pets such as dogs like Arlen, Goji Berry, the cat also on there, and you can learn more about their adoption events also. But going to their website, pawsforliferescue.org. And then on social media, follow them on places like Twitter at Paws, the number 4 Life Rescue is their handle on Twitter, and I follow them on Facebook. It's always great. Even if you aren't interested in adopting animals, you just want to see some cute puppies and kittens now and then to lift your spirits, a great follow as well. You're watching and listening to the Megacast, including on your radio homes for the show, 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake and 88.1 WBFH Bloomfield Hills. After the break, we'll be talking about the holiday season. The 11th annual Menorah in the D event takes place on November 28th at 5 p.m. and Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov will join us next to talk about that. It's coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit, or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council,
we work together to protect water resources for everyone.
Most of the pollution entering our rivers is carried by rainwater that runs off roads, parking lots, and rooftops.
A rain garden helps catch stormwater runoff.
Rain gardens and their plants help dirty runoff soak into the ground.
You can do your part to help keep our water clean.
Learn about rain gardens and native plants.
So consider a rain garden in your home landscaping.
Catch the runoff with a rain garden.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
I couldn't breathe at all. There was lots of talk about putting me on a ventilator. I thought I was gonna die. I was 39 weeks pregnant and had a scheduled C-section. During that time, I got COVID and was hospitalized for a month. I had a blood clot in my lungs. It caused me to go into right-sided heart failure. I was really scared. I kept texting my husband and my mom, telling them how scared I was, and I was worried that he was gonna grow up without a mom. And then I was worried if, when I did get home, that he wouldn't know who I was. You know, being 27 and a mom and a wife and having that all almost taken away from me. It's scary, and if a vaccine can prevent that from happening, why not? Get your vaccine. I don't want this to happen to anybody else.
A message from the staff of Michigan's Crime Victim Compensation Program.
Anyone can be a victim of crime
and suffer lasting trauma, physically, emotionally, and financially.
But you are not alone.
If you're struggling financially due to a crime,
we're here
for you.
Find out if you qualify for crime victim compensation.
Call 877-251-7373 or visit michigan.gov/crime victim.
A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Victim Services.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe alongside our multitasking studio producer and board operator Calvin Brown here in our studios in West Bloomfield Township. Big thank you to Calvin and our entire crew for getting us on the air and keeping us on the air each and every day. You can learn more information about the show and all the places you can watch us live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, as well as live to tape and on demand by going to our website at civiccentertv.com/megacast. Joining us now is Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov. He's the Vice President of Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan, back with us on the Megacast to talk about the 11th annual Menorah in the D event coming up at the end of this month. Rabbi, thanks for being with us again.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Good to see you as well. So the 11th annual Menorah in the D event is coming up. It's November 28th at 5 p.m. After last year's virtual-only event, is this year's event also going to be virtual? Is it going to be in-person, hybrid?
This will be hybrid. We'll have in-person and virtual.
And so now that you're back in person partially for this, I mean, there will be a hybrid element to it as well, as you said. But being back in person, has that changed the approach to planning this event? Different from last year's 10th annual and, of course, the last fully in-person event, the 9th annual event. Anything special planned with this back in person, at least partially, event this year?
Well, of course, because when you have in person, that's one type of event. And then we are carrying on what we did last year with bringing this virtually to, people all across the state and the world. And we got to kind of now prepare for both. And that's our plans for this year. It's interesting because we're talking about Hanukkah. And the whole idea of Hanukkah is to bring light. And the first night of Hanukkah, we light one candle. The second light will light 2, the third light will light 3. We're always growing. And last year, just 2 weeks before Hanukkah, we're told that we can't have more than 25, 30 people downtown. And we have to quickly come up with this whole approach of doing a virtual production to be able to share Hanukkah with the city, share Hanukkah with the people of Metro Detroit and beyond. This year, we are coming back together, but we can't go backwards. We have to add a light. And therefore, we're doing the combination of both virtual and on-site.
We're joined by Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov, Vice President of Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan, joining us on the Megacast today. Their 11th annual Menorah in the D event, November 28th at 5 p.m. at Campus Martius. Also will be live streamed. As he mentioned, it is a hybrid event. Will be live streamed on Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan's Facebook page and website as well. That live stream will begin at 5:30 on that day, although the event begins at 5 o'clock downtown at Campus Martius on that day. So it's all in celebration of Hanukkah. And for those that don't practice Judaism, or not familiar with the holidays of your faith, for many outside looking in, because of the proximity to other holidays and other faiths such as Christmas and Christianity, they think of Hanukkah as basically it's Christmas for Jewish people. That's not the case, not even close to the case. And you mentioned a little bit of the story of Hanukkah, but give us the summary of what is this holiday, why is it celebrated by those that practice the Jewish faith, and what makes it significant to the faith.
Okay, so the story of Hanukkah takes us back to 200 before the Common Era. And at that time, you had in the Holy Land, you had the Jewish people being persecuted by the Syrian Greeks who were trying to impose their culture onto the Jewish nation and prohibiting them from practicing Jewish religion and culture, or rather Jewish religion. And it was a small band of Jews led by Yehuda the Maccabee that stood up against one of the mightiest armies on earth at that time, and were able to prevail. And they were able to come back to the Holy Temple and rededicate the Holy Temple. And one of the beautiful traditions of the Holy Temple, one of the highlights in the Holy Temple, was the lighting of the Menorah, the lighting of the candelabra, which is there to bring light in the Holy Temple and beyond. Now they came back and they found all the oil that was prepared for the menorah defiled spiritually. And there was only one jug of oil that was left with the seal of the high priest. Now, one jug of oil only lasts for 1 day, but it takes 8 days to produce the new oil. They lit that menorah anyway, and that's where the miracle of Hanukkah took place, that the candle, that the oil, that one jug of oil lasted for 8 days. So the message of Hanukkah was, first of all, it was an incredible demonstration of how the few and the weak can stand up and stand strong for what they believe in and to be able to do their service, and they were able to prevail. At the same time, it was also a miracle that they were able to take that one jug of oil and have it for 8 days. The significance to us is that we are taught in Jewish tradition that each one of us, every human being, has a jug of oil, that one little jug of oil that's deep within their heart, deep within their soul, that's always there, ready to be lit. And it could come a time of darkness and challenges, and it seems like you're the weak and the few and you can't survive, you can't overcome your challenges. Hanukkah comes and tells you, light that little jug of oil, light that wick, and your soul is so powerful that you can overcome all your obstacles and you can be a candle again, you can be a light.
We're joined by Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov, Vice President of Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan, joining us on the Megacast. Again, their 11th annual Menorah in the D event will be a hybrid. This year, it was all virtual for their 10th annual a year ago in 2020 due to COVID-19. Of course, this year, a hybrid event, 5 p.m., November 28th. The in-person event begins at Campus Martius. The hybrid event, the live stream, will begin at 5:30 on the Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan Facebook page and their website as well. And so, Rabbi, how does the story of Hanukkah parallel to the perseverance that was required for the people of the Jewish faith and for greater society overall to have persevered through this pandemic and continuing to persevere through this?
I think the message of Hanukkah is what we all need. And there are a lot of people that it was very difficult. There was suffering, and there was a lot of challenges, and people are still struggling. Not all of it we're aware of, but there are many individuals in our community that had a very difficult time and still are challenged with it. And when we're faced as a society with such challenges, that's when we have to understand and be told, and the holiday comes and tells us that, you know what, you can light a candle. And the message really is that each one of us not only lights our own candle, but we can light up the candles around us. You know, I want to share with you an anecdote from over 100 years ago. This is with the 5th Rebbe of Chabad, the spiritual leader of our movement over 100 years ago. And he was once asked, what are you looking to teach to your students? How does one become a chassid? And he said, a chassid is one who becomes a lamplighter. You see, in the old shtetl, in the old city, there were street lamps. And every night there was someone that went around with a long pole with a flame on it, and he would go and light the street lamps by hand. And he says, one has to be a lamplighter. So he asks his teacher, and he says, what happens if those street lamps are very far in the distance? They're in the desert, or they're by the water. It's difficult to get to them. He says, a lamplighter goes into the difficult situations, into the dark situations, and he lights that street lamp so everyone can have that light. And when there is a light, when there is a street lamp, that draws everyone together. It brings a glow, it brings a warmth, and it brings us all to a higher level. So we here, when it comes Hanukkah, we have a celebration at our Menorah in the D event, which is called the Lamplighter Ceremony. Because our focus of Hanukkah is that each and every one of us is a lamplighter, could be a lamplighter. And when it comes a time like COVID, everyone that has the ability needs to go out there and bring that light to their neighbors, to their friends, to their community. And if we all do that, we can become stronger from it. We can bring light to our surroundings.
We're joined by Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov, Vice President of Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan. Their upcoming 11th annual Menorah in the D event, November 28th at 5 p.m. in person at Campus Martius. The live stream of the event as well at 5:30 p.m. on the Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan Facebook page and website as well. And so for last year, there's a big hit from the virtual version of this event where the at-home lamplighter kits that included a Hanukkah guide, candles, a special lighter, treats, crafts, gelt, postcards, and a menorah as well. Are those going to be back this year after the great response that they got from the 10th annual event?
They are back. They are back. No going backwards, only going forwards. And you know, last year, you remember, you know, we didn't know how things are going to pan out. It was all last minute. And you had hundreds of cars lining up here to receive those kits. And what's interesting is, you know, we had the live stream, which was you were able to pick up from a number of different sources. But then we also had a Zoom opportunity where you actually could be part of the event. So we had over 1,000 families that came. They picked up these kits. They then participated in the menorah lighting all together. And each one in their own home lit their menorah. So it wasn't only lighting it in the city square, but it was joining with the community together. And that was really unique, very special. And although now we're inviting everyone downtown in a safe way, for those that can make it, for those that feel comfortable and are going out, but we also want to give the opportunity for those who can't make it to be able to be at home and be part of this incredible celebration. You know, last year we had over 25,000 people that participated in this event. When you look at the previous year, we had 3,000 to 5,000 people. So even though there was COVID and it seemed like a big challenge, it actually allowed more people to celebrate. And this year we plan to go even further than that. So we all have to bring that light into our homes, into our communities, and continue to grow.
We're joined by Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov, Vice President of Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan. Again, that event, that Menorah in the D event, on November 28th, 5 p.m. at Campus Martius in downtown Detroit, and 5:30 p.m. for the live stream on the Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan Facebook page and website. And then if you would like to get the at-home lamplighter kits that were such a big hit for last year's event, those are available. You can reserve them for pickup closer to the event by going to menorahinthed.com. Rabbi, just another few minutes with you today before we'll say goodbye. Anything else, any other messages for people as we approach the holiday season, as we approach this event, or other things that we should be keeping an eye out for in the near future?
Well, you know, the highlight of Hanukkah is lighting the menorah. And first of all, it's each one personally in their own home. For 8 days, each night we light those candles. So the first thing I would encourage everyone is get your menorah ready, get your candles ready. You should light it with your family in your own home, in addition to coming out November 28th and joining us as a community at large. That's number one. Number two is the message of Hanukkah is universal, because thank God we're in a country that is a country of freedom of religion. We all can practice, and this is really what was the story of Hanukkah. So I would encourage everyone to be able to celebrate in the message of Hanukkah, that we can create a society where we all can participate, we can express our traditions, and we can bring light to each other and the entire community.
Well, Rabbi, we appreciate it. Thank you for joining us today and spreading these messages of Hanukkah that also not only apply to those practicing Judaism, but also to the greater community during the continued crisis that we're dealing with all throughout the world. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Again, you can learn more about the event as well as reserve those lamplighter kits for Menorah in the D by going to menorahinthed.com. We're going to take a break. On the other side, we'll continue in Detroit by talking to Garrett Pasiak, the brand ambassador for Detroit City Distillery, as well as Brian Peterson, our good friend, the founder of Bees in the D, as we approach the time of the year where their honey bourbon will be out and available for the holidays. We'll talk about that, how they develop it, their partnership between Detroit City Distillery and Bees in the D, and more. That is all coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit, or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanted to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
Whether you're the city,
the county,
or the Huron River Watershed Council.
As partners working together to protect our water resources, we agree.
Pet waste is a source of harmful bacteria in the Huron River.
When it's left on the ground, it can wash into the storm drains.
These lead directly to our streams. No filters, no treatment.
Here's one thing we know that can help keep our water clean.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
Pick up pet waste and trash it.
So pick up pet waste and trash it.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
Who is struggling right now?
I am.
My son is.
Many are struggling with anxiety, depression, and substance use. Before it becomes a crisis, reach out to MyCal, the Michigan Crisis and Access Line, for free confidential support 24/7. Available in the Upper Peninsula and Oakland County. Just call or text 1-844-44-MyCal or chat online at michigan.gov/MyCal. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Motorcyclists are hard to see. To keep everyone safer, it's important to always look for them and know where most crashes occur. 84% of motorcycle and vehicle crashes happen on streets, not highways. And most crashes with motorcyclists occur when vehicle drivers are turning left. So before turning, especially to the left, make sure you look for motorcyclists. Then look again. It could save a life.
To Sophia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to the Megacast. I'm Tyler Keefe here in our studios alongside our studio producer and board operator Calvin Brown with me every day, Monday through Friday, live from 10 a.m. until 12 noon on the Megacast. We're broadcasting not just on our flagship stations on Civic Center TV and Lakes FM, but also on a number of different community television and radio stations all throughout Oakland County and across the state of Michigan, online on our website at civiccentertv.com, as well as on My Michigan TV. To learn more information about all the places that we're broadcasting live and live to tape, you can go to our website, civiccentertv.com/megacast. There you'll also be able to find all of our full episodes and interviews on demand, so you can watch them on your time. Joining us now is Garrett Pasiak. He's the brand ambassador at Detroit City Distillery, as well as Brian Peterson, the founder of Bees in the D, as we approach Black Friday or the holiday season, and that also means that the honey bourbon from Detroit City Distillery and Bees in the D will be back as well. So they're both with us with a couple of bottles of the honey bourbon as well as we preview this. Gentlemen, thanks for being back with us today.
Absolutely.
Always great to be with you.
So let's start with Garrett, because the Detroit City Distillery is brewing this honey bourbon in partnership with Bees in the D. How did that relationship begin between Detroit City Distillery and Bees in the D?
So what ended up happening was, Bees in the D approached our owner, Michael Forsythe, and what they do is we found out that Brian can speak better to this than I did. They've got beehives all over the city, okay? And so what ended up happening is they said, you know something, can we go ahead and use your factory roof, set up some hives? I believe we've got 2 hives up there. And it just makes sense when you're talking about bourbon, different things that you can do with it after it's like legal regulations. You can do a lot of fun stuff with it. And it just goes honey and bourbon, especially with, the fall and the autumn and winter coming up. Just a couple years back, they said, you know something, why don't we go ahead, let's collaborate. Let's go ahead and use your bourbon barrels to go ahead and age some honey in. After that's done, let's go ahead and age bourbon in the honey barrel. All right. So it was a really, really fun concept that just came together with Bees in the D's and Detroit City Distillery. And we are super excited it happened, and we're continuing it on for years to come, hopefully. We're super excited for this release. It's going to be a really, really great time. And that's how the partnership ended up happening. So.
And then for you, Brian, having this partnership with Detroit City Distillery to sell this bourbon, how does that then help Bees in the D not only spread its message and its cause throughout the Detroit area and raise awareness for that, but also financially, when we know that nonprofits and other organizations that are doing great work around our communities, especially during the pandemic, have really struggled to continue to bring in those regular funds?
So this partnership is huge for us for a couple of reasons. Of course, you brought up finances. So this fundraiser for us allows us to continue our mission and further our education and get more hives out there to help with the bee conservation. But it's also really fun for us to work with other organizations. Detroit City Distillery, it's just like Garrett said, a perfect partnership. And that allows us to also do events where we are able to kind of trick adults into educating them. Whenever there's liquor involved, adults want to be there. And so we can have educational things there while people are enjoying their drinks, and share a little bit of more about what it takes for the bees to make the honey. And then, of course, like Garrett said, include it in the products. It doesn't get fresher than that. I think that's what makes this bourbon so incredible. It is literally honey from the roof of the factory where the bourbon is made.
We're joined by Garrett Pasiak, brand ambassador for the Detroit City Distillery, and Brian Peterson, the founder of Bees in the D, joining us today on the Megacast. Their 2 organizations, Honey Bourbon, limited edition, will go on sale on Black Friday. $40 per bottle for the Bees in the D bourbon barrel aged honey, as well as they're also offering a signature rocks glasses set as well. $40 for a 2-glass set. Brian, if you can talk to us about that, and is that a new addition this year, and where did that idea come from?
Well, we actually started the rocks glasses because, you got to have something to put the bourbon in last year, just to see if people would be interested. And we were blown away with the response to it, because it kind of makes it a whole incredible set. You've got the bourbon, you've got the honey, and now you have something to serve the bourbon in. And the glasses, if you look, are absolutely amazing. It has that logo down at the bottom. And it comes in 2 glasses, and it's just another fun product, unique product that you can get that special loved one for the holidays. And we also even went as far to make a bourbon lip balm that goes along it using the wax. So it's a whole shebang of goodies that is kind of centered around the honey and the bourbon.
And then, so Garrett, these both the bourbon and the rocks glasses will be on sale beginning on Black Friday. It often sells out. The honey bourbon, at least in recent years, has sold out very quickly. About how quickly does it go, and when should people really get on to be shopping for this honey bourbon if they'd like to get this limited edition spirit?
That is a very good question, and I always tell individuals as soon as possible. The ones that have success of getting any type of limited edition release, especially this honey bourbon, it goes like that. Sometimes within 45 minutes to an hour. And what you want to do is, I always tell individuals, it's Black Friday, take the day off, set your alarm for about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, get up, get some coffee, maybe sip some honey bourbon, hot toddy, or anything like that. But definitely go to DetroitCityDistilleryShop.com. You want to be on there right at 8 o'clock. All right, if you wait till 8:30, you say, oh, it's not going to sell out that fast. You'll be surprised. Last year, believe it or not, I didn't even get a bottle myself. So that's how quickly it goes. Make a fun day out of it. Don't wait in line for a TV. Wait at your home in front of the computer for a limited edition bottle of the B's and the D's, bourbon aged honey, and the bourbon whiskey. So
yeah, it's a lot warmer waiting in line for your computer at home instead of waiting in line for those TVs on Black Friday. We're joined by Garrett Pasiak, brand ambassador at Detroit City Distillery, as well as Brian Peterson, founder of B's and the D. They're two organizations partnering once again this year for Detroit City Distillery's limited edition honey bourbon. It will be returning for the holidays. It goes on sale on Black Friday, November 26th. And as Garrett said, suggests getting on their website right away, 8 o'clock in the morning when that goes on sale. DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop. That's DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop. And so, Brian, on top of the honey bourbon, still a lot going on with B's and the D as we're going through the holiday season and approaching the end of the year. You have an upcoming event. It's a virtual event, outdoor adventure beekeeping exploration with B's and the D. It's coming up just a little under a week from now, next week, Thursday. Tell us a little bit about that event, who it's for, and what people can experience if they attend.
Well, we are always trying to do more events, and that event actually is already sold out. Wow. So we're looking at adding a second one. It is actually our event that we do a partnership with the Girl Scouts of Southeast Michigan, where they can earn the beekeeping patch. And so a lot of interest in that. So we're working with the Girl Scouts of Southeast Michigan to get another date added to that as well.
We're joined by B's and D founder Brian Peterson, as well as Detroit City Distillery brand ambassador Garrett Pasiak on the Megacast. Again, you can learn more information about Detroit City Distillery and prepare yourself on the day of Black Friday to purchase their special honey bourbon in partnership with B's and the D by going to DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop or just going to DetroitCityDistillery.com and clicking on the shop link at the top of the page. More information about B's and the D at bsandthed.com. And so, Garrett, on the Detroit City Distillery side, not just the honey bourbon on the docket right now as an interesting drink or other product that's available through your organization, through your company. What else is what other special drinks are available at this moment in time that people may be interested in purchasing? May have lost Garrett there just briefly. We'll try to get back to him in just a moment. Again, you can learn more about Detroit City Distillery at DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop. We're joined by Garrett Pasiak, the brand ambassador of Detroit City Distillery, as well as Brian Peterson, founder of B's and the D. Of course, they're partnering for their limited edition honey bourbon that's going to be returning to market on Black Friday. That is November 26th, the day after the Thanksgiving holiday. You can learn more information and shop for that at DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop. And so it sounds like we have Garrett back with us. I can hear the bottles
Sorry about that.
in the background. Now, that's okay.
We're in a 25,000 square foot factory. We lose reception sometimes. So.
No, that's fine. That happens all the time. I'm glad to have you back, Garrett. So I asked, as we were losing you, I was asking, beyond the honey bourbon, there's still a lot of great products at Detroit City Distillery that are available at this time, that you're producing at this time, some special products maybe as well. Tell us a little bit about what's available right now that's capturing interest from your customers.
The biggest thing that's capturing interest right now is, of course, we always have our staple bourbon, all right, our butcher's cut bourbon. And then we also have our rye as well. So these ones right here, these are also available as well, in addition to the honey bourbon. But the big thing that a lot of people are super excited about is we added another bourbon to our line, and that's our 4-grain bourbon. Okay, so it's got a little bit of wheat in there. A really cool logo. It got the Packard Studebaker type theme there. That's going to be available as well. Again, bottle pickup for your honey bourbon is December 3rd at 4 p.m. at the Riopel location over there in Eastern Market. And I don't know if you saw, we'll be serving a lot of fun drinks, a lot of fun treats from Bees in the D as well. This is a honey-themed old-fashioned. I'll put a little bit of orange in there, got an apple on there. Just a really fun time to come out on December 3rd at 4 p.m., pick up your bottles. That's when it starts. Really fun street party we're going to be having indoors. Stay warm, hot drinks. Our full line of bourbons, full line, of course, the featured honey bourbon as well from Bees and the D's. It's just going to be a great time. People have lots to look forward to when they come in, so.
Again, you can purchase the special edition honey bourbon on their website, DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop, or by clicking on the shop link at DetroitCityDistillery.com. That goes on sale on the morning of Black Friday, November 26th on their website. And then the pickup date, as Garrett just said, December 3rd at Eastern Market there at their location at Eastern Market. And they'll have other fun events and things to be doing there as well on that day. Just another few minutes with both of you, so I'll start with you, Garrett, since we're on you with our camera right now. Anything else that would be important for us to know, or interesting for us to know, or keep an eye out for in the future, beyond, of course, the honey bourbon at Detroit City Distillery?
Yeah, I mean, beyond the honey bourbon, this is one of our favorite collaborations. And with bourbon, we're established very well 7 years. We've been in business. We celebrated 7 years in September. We've got our staple products like our homegrown rye, our bourbon, our vodkas and gins. And sky's the limit when it comes to a lot of fun stuff to do. So I always encourage people, just always follow us, always check in, come down to the Eastern Market, not just to support Detroit City Distillery, but support, especially during the holidays, all small businesses down in Eastern Market. You never know what's going to come out of a brain of a distiller. You got the honey bourbon, who knows what's next? So it's always fun. You never know what's going to be next, and just always stay tuned for some special releases. And we're looking forward to the new year, doing a lot of fun stuff. Spring's going to come quick. So just always pay attention, always kind of keep your pulse on the whole Eastern Market and Detroit City Distillery, B's and the D's. You never know what's going to come next. So.
And then, Brian, on your side with B's and the D, what are some other things coming up in the near future around the holiday season and beyond the holiday season that people should be keeping an eye out for?
Well, of course, our bees are a little bit more dormant right now. They we tucked them in for the winter, so we're not really doing any programs in the hives, but we will be doing some educational programs that you can look for on social media at Bees in the D or on our website. But I know that holiday gifts can be a little more difficult to get this year with everything that's going on. And so even if you aren't lucky enough to get one of these, the honey or the bourbon, we have a lot of other products. We even have the t-shirts that have this really awesome logo, the bourbon logo on it. Like I said, our lip balms, the rocks glasses, and of course our regular line of products as well, our honey, all of our different flavors of lip balms. So they're great gifts that are supporting, much like Garrett said, local. And that's what makes Detroit so special, that we have so many small local businesses that are working together. That's what we love about especially this collaboration with Detroit City Distillery.
Well, Brian, Garrett, we appreciate both of you joining us to preview, of course, the honey bourbon and tell us all about the other things, great things that are happening both at Detroit City Distillery and at Bees in the D. Thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Again, you can learn more about Detroit City Distillery's products and purchase the special edition honey bourbon through them and Bees in the D on Black Friday, November 26th. Get there right away, 8 o'clock in the morning on their website, DetroitCityDistillery.com/shop. Again, that's DetroitCityDistillery.com. You can click on shop, and you can always learn more about Bees in the D by going to their website at beesinthed.com to learn more about their programs, get some educational resources, and learn more about bees, and find out ways that you can help the organization through volunteer opportunities and through donations as well. We're going to take one more break, and on the other side, we'll be joined by the implementation director of Hope Starts Here, talking about childcare and education. We'll be joined by Denise Smith from that organization coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
72.7% of high school students get less than the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. This can cause pain, obesity, and can very negatively affect your mental health. When you have a consistent 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day, you get sick less often, lose more weight, and have better relationships with those around you. For more information about the dangers of sleep deprivation, go to sleepfoundation.org. This message is brought to you by the WBHS Digital Media Arts Program and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you get your kids vaccinated?
It was hard for them to social distance, to be isolated from their friends.
I want them to get back to school and sports games. So as a pediatrician, I recommend the vaccine to everyone I know.
The boys lost a former teammate and classmate who was only 20 years old. It's been a devastating year.
We want to get back to normalcy. Our daughter is really looking forward to being with her friends, being a kid.
It's the Great Lakes water. And so what people do ends up in our waterways.
Flushable wipes are just evil. They should be thrown away. They're impossible to destroy, and they can cause significant problems.
One of the main things when you're cooking is to not dump fats, oils, and greases down your drains.
They stick to the sides of pipes. They stick to everything they come in contact with. Don't put it down the sink.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light.
How can I help you?
Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need. For help with food, healthcare, mental health, and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
We may come from different organizations,
but we work together to protect the Huron River for everyone.
Neighborhood storm drains carry water directly to local creeks and streams. No filters, no treatment.
Storm drains also help reduce street flooding when it rains.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
It is easy to do your part by adopting a storm drain.
Find a storm drain, check it, and clear it every month.
So keep storm drains for rain only.
There's one water, and it's ours to protect.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to a $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit, or call toll-free at 833-511-0311.
A public service announcement from 89.3 Lakes FM. We're joined now by Denise Smith. She is the implementation director of Hope Starts Here, and she's joining us now on the Megacast. Denise, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate having you here with us. So tell us a little bit about Hope Starts Here. What does your organization do to benefit children and families in the Detroit area?
Certainly. Hope Starts Here, Detroit Early Childhood Partnership, actually began in 2016 as a community engagement process to learn more about what families and children need, specifically given the a huge amount, the gap or deficit that existed where 1 out of every 3 children couldn't find access or have access to early child care. Even if they needed or wanted it, it didn't exist. And we still are working on that seed gap and mitigating it. We've made some progress to date. Since 2017, with the launch of our early childhood framework, we have transitioned to implementation and act as a connector of early childhood efforts in Detroit to mobilize this citywide commitment to support our youngest children and families through that common vision, coordinated implementation, collective advocacy, and this shared infrastructure.
So Denise, how has the past 20 months plus this pandemic, how has that implemented, the vision of Hope Starts Here, or maybe modified that or changed that or in some ways redirected it? How has that been modified? And then also, how has then the execution of your mission also been modified or been varied because of the circumstances of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Certainly, COVID has no doubt heightened the need and made it much more apparent to a broader stakeholder group, which is actually an advantage to the effort. What we saw at the height of COVID, where we were beginning with a 28,000 seat gap for children, and I included infants and toddlers, and largely those numbers existed for our infant toddlers. At the height of COVID, because of programs closing or not reopening, we saw that quickly scale to 43,000 seats that did not exist for parents to be able to go to work or school. So our effort really was about doubling down and making sure that we could retain the seats that we had, assist programs to reopen. And now in our advocacy work and the work that we're doing with policy leaders in Lansing and locally is to ensure that the stabilization grants and all the other funds that are coming down to stabilize early childhood care is actually utilized and accessed by those programs, and that families are taking advantage of these quality opportunities that we're supporting to build out. So I would say that COVID certainly exacerbated all need that we see and have seen across the state, from mental health to early childhood, and made that a much more combined and collective effort across these particular sectors of our society, including businesses that needed those particular employees to come back to work. And because they didn't have childcare for their children and meet that need, they were unable to do so.
And so in terms of meeting those needs, because as you mentioned, the need for child care on the educational side, on the mental health side, they're all connected, but they're also individual issues and they're individual factors that need special attention just on their own, and sometimes in multiple cases or in a mixed bag situation with many kids and with many families. Given the crisis that we're in and the way that the pandemic changed how people get involved with different organizations, how much people are involved in things outside of their work life or in addition to their work life, or whatever the case may be, how did that ultimately force an adjustment from Hope Starts Here in order to continue to provide those services? Not only that, but provide an additional need for these services that became so apparent over the last 20 months plus.
Yeah. So the beauty of Hope Starts Here is that we are operating and implementing using a distributed leadership model. What that means is the ecosystem that we know should exist and has various facets, from health to education to facilities and brick and mortar to the connectivity between our early childhood system, K-12, including transportation and housing and all of those other adjacencies, in order to make sure that that child is healthy, born healthy, is safe and thriving. These systems need to be cooperating and working together. And so the beauty of our framework is that we are looking holistically at the child in the context of family, in the context of community. And our distributed leadership model allows for community-based organizations and leads who may be experts in the health, in facilities, in early childhood development, and that educational supports to those teachers and staff at programs are now all a part of the work together, coordinated, working across imperative to ensure that the system is actually responsive, coordinated and sustained in support of young children and families. So young children meaning from birth or pregnancy all the way through age 8. So those transitions into the K-12 system that will actually, the points where children are up to their learning and then testing are actually being coordinated and supported in a very meaningful way.
We're joined by Denise Smith. She is the implementation director of Hope Starts Here, joining us on the Megacast. You can learn more information by going to their website at hopestartsheredetroit.org. Again, that is hopestartsheredetroit.org. And so you are going to be hosting your 5th summit. That's coming up November 16th and 18th. Tell us a bit about that event. Is it in person? Is it virtual? And what people can be expecting to experience by attending?
Yes, it is virtual, and thank you for asking. I'm a parent of 3 adult children and now my 11-year-old niece. And as parents, we want our children to have better than we did. And getting opportunities for all children actually means that we need to work together. I've been talking a lot about this coordination. This summit is looking at our coordination and working together towards social justice. And by that, we mean that every child and their family, no matter where they live, or how much they have, has equal rights, equal opportunities, and equal treatment. That's why we have co-designed this summit with parents, so that other parents, community members, and supporters can talk about and actively work towards justice, which goes beyond equity, in fact, to a state in existence where current interventions or hands up aren't needed. So our Social Justice Summit, as you mentioned, is taking place on November 16th and 18th. It's completely virtual. We're asking that parents, community members, local organizations, our legislators and stakeholders are a part of this sessions that will be led by experts and parents. It's taking place between 5:30 and 7. In hopes that it'll be easier for folks to join after work or their other commitments during the day. And we'll also have a playlist, video stories and read alouds for children so that they can participate in an active way and allow for their parents and other adults to be actively engaged.
We're joined by Denise Smith. She is the implementation director at Hope Starts Here. And you can learn more information about the organization by going to their website at hopestartsheredetroit.org. Again, hopestartsheredetroit.org for more information. And so at this time, given the increased need, the increased importance and emphasis that's been put on the need for quality childcare across the board, and the increased focus on equity and effectiveness of education and bridging those gaps in education. What are the key needs right now from the community, both from a financial standpoint and from volunteerism or from expertise in order to provide the services that Hope Starts Here is providing to children in the Detroit area, but also meet the increased need that has become so present over the past year and a half, 2 years that we've been dealing with this pandemic?
Sure. I would say that right now, and I've been in early childhood education for 27 years, and we are at an unprecedented moment in terms of the investment and financing that is available to actually build out a system that will sustain the supports necessary for adults to lean in and be what they need to be for the young children to be ready for school, to be ready for life. We need to ensure that with the stabilization grants that are coming online for early childhood educators, that each of them is applying for this opportunity to stabilize their programs, to grow their programs, to increase the workforce that is much needed in that deficit in the early childhood field. And that the eligibility, which has been increased for families as well, meaning that more families have access to supported child care, that families are actually applying for these supports and letting our legislators know at the end of the day that these are the right addresses to ensure that they can work and be contributing citizens to their community and setting up the next generation to do so as well.
And Denise, in terms of our child care providers, what benefits can they take from being involved with an organization like yours, both in improving and expanding the quality of the services that they provide to families, and in terms of, especially now, providing the families that are their clients that they are serving with an increased ability to have that child care be available through employment opportunities, financial opportunities, and more?
Well, one of the things I just mentioned around the stabilization grant, we are pushing out that information, providing technical assistance where needed, specifically around the tax implications of taking in those funds. So making sure that we're resourcing and providing information to providers, to parents, and to the general community around what is important and necessary to stabilize, as you just mentioned, the environment. But also through this distributed leadership, we are being very intentional in thinking about alternative pathways so that we can increase our workforce in the early childhood field, allowing for lived experiences to be acknowledged, at the same time fast tracking those particular interested providers into getting credentials, a bachelor's or a master's in early childhood education, so that those credentials and experience and intentionality of the educators in partnership with families, with parents, can allow for the supports that children truly need to become their very best selves. All of this is a part of the work that we do. Again, we are a very coordinated and an intentional network of community-based organizations and experts working to make sure that there is an ecosystem that is coordinated and responsive to need. So in that capsule, you will find supports that are specific to the health, those first 1,000 days of children, and making sure they get the screenings and immunizations that they need, to the adults and parents in their lives becoming the first teacher and best advocate for their children, to making sure that we are supporting those professionals in early childhood education to be very intentional in the things that they do for young children, including having really inspiring and incredibly informed and responsive environments in which they can do that work.
Yeah, and of course, if your organization has not yet applied for those Michigan Child Care Stabilization Grants and you need some assistance with that, or you want to learn more information from a trusted resource, you can learn more information about that by going to Hope Starts Here's website at hopestartsheredetroit.org. We're joined by Denise Smith, the Implementation Director of Hope Starts Here on the Megacast. Denise, just another couple minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. Anything else at this time that would be important for our child care providers or others in our community to know about the work that you're doing over at Hope Starts Here Detroit, or anything else that we haven't spoken on today?
Yeah, I would just want to put another pin on the work that we're doing at the summit, because it is intergenerational. We know that the things that we're asking be addressed are not only going to impact the parents and children of today, but those in our future. And so intergenerational justice, simply put, is the responsibilities and duties that this present generation has towards the next, and those that come after it. It refers to the right to life and liberty that's enshrined in law, but also considers whether the actions we take today might curtail the autonomy and capabilities of future generations. So we want to be very attentive to the decisions, our responses, the actions that we take, and how we equip families and others to be able to advocate on behalf of themselves and their children. So again, I'm inviting you and welcoming you to come join and learn with us together how we take those next very actionable and intentional steps.
If you'd like to take part in the Hope Starts Here Social Justice Summit of 2021, that is happening November 16th and November 18th. That is next week, Tuesday and Thursday, from 5:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. It's a virtual event, free to attend, but you do have to register. To learn more information and to register for that event, go to Hope Starts Here website at hopestartsheredetroit.org. And if you want to go straight to the summit page, that is hopestartsheredetroit.org/summit. Denise, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's been terrific. I appreciate the time.
Big thank you to Denise Smith from Hope Starts Here, their implementation director, and all of our guests on today's edition of the Megacast. With just a couple minutes left in the show, I want to thank each and every one of our guests: Garrett Pasiak from Detroit City Distillery, and Bees in the D founder Brian Peterson for joining us on the show. Rabbi Kasriel Shemtov, the vice president of Chabad Lubavitch of Michigan, for joining us. Courtney Protz-Sanders, the founder and executive director of Paws for Life Animal Rescue, and of course, our first guest today, who is Molly Reeser, the founder and executive director of Camp Casey, a charity supported by Shared Detroit. And of course, we'll have charity supported by that organization with us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10:20 a.m. on the show now through the end of the month on November 30th. In support of them and also to raise awareness for these organizations as we approach and surpass Giving Tuesday here in just a few weeks. Big thank you to all of them. You can watch all of those interviews as well as our full episodes on demand and learn more about all the different places that we broadcast this show live and live to tape by going to our website at civiccentertv.com/megacast. And then on our coronavirus page at civiccentertv.com/coronavirus, you can learn more information about COVID-19 from reliable, trusted, expert resources on the front lines of this pandemic at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the Oakland County Health Division, and information about how COVID-19 is affecting your hometown in many places here in Oakland County as well. That's civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. We also post our top stories, our top 3 stories usually, each and every day of the show from many publications and journals across the state of Michigan, whether it be the Detroit area where we originate our broadcast, Lansing, Grand Rapids, Traverse City, wherever it may be. Those are also on our website, civiccentertv.com/coronavirus. A big night tonight here on Civic Center TV and the Big 89 as Dave Scott and I head out to Rochester for a big rematch between the Rochester Adams Highlanders and the West Bloomfield Lakers in the MHSAA Division I playoffs regional finals. The winner of this goes to one of those semifinal matches, and it's just 2 weeks away from Ford Field. Our coverage will begin at 6:30 p.m. Kickoff at 7:09 because it's also a TV broadcast on Bally Sports. In terms of the Megacast, that's it for us this week. We'll return on Monday at 10 a.m.